Hi all, Rommel here from Dell Technologies. Today, what I'm going to show you is how easy it is to do REST API with Networker. What I have here is Networker 19, and to showcase its REST API functionalities, I'll be using Postman. Here's the Networker REST API web services. Here you'll see the different iterations for Networker REST API. Let's go take a look at v3 and look at what you can call. If we go to clients, for example, it will list all the clients configured in Networker. In this case, I have a total of one client, which is the Networker server itself. If you go down, you'll see count one. It will also list down all the attributes for each client. If I copy this one, the same URL, and I paste in a get command in Postman, so let's do a get. Let's paste this one, the same URL, and I press send. Let's authenticate this first using the Networker authentication. And then let's press send again. Okay. You'll see that it is showing the same output as what you've seen earlier. It will list down all the attributes of each client. It will list down all the clients, and it will give you the count. If I go back here and go back, you'll see that there are a lot of things that you can do. I can list down or create policies, devices, and a lot of other resources. What we will do next is we will create resources in Networker. We will create a client, a group, policy, and even workflows. We will also start a backup. All these activities using REST API. So this is the monitoring window of Networker console. In here, you'll see that I only have one policy, which is a default policy. So in this case, I have one client, I have one group. Again, this is a default group, and I have one policy, a default policy as well. Again, using Postman, I've already saved a few of these commands or scripts. I'll go to the create client. This is the same URL. I just changed the get to a post. And then from a body standpoint, if you see, I just stated host name. I placed a comment to mark that this was made during this demo, and I specify the save set /test. Let's run the command now. Okay, 201 created. If we go back to Networker, you will see that there are now two clients, with one of them having a comment created by Rommel via Postman, and the save set that I specified /test. But how did I know the syntax? From the get command earlier, again, you'll see the host name, you'll see the save set here, you'll see the host name, for example, here, and I'm using the same syntax for my post, for the body of my post script, the same syntax. That's how easy it is. For the rest of the attributes, I leave it to their default values. What I'll do next is to create a group. In here, again, I have one group, server protection. To create a group, let's go to Postman again. Let's go to the body. I only specify the name, and again, I place a comment. Let's press send. Okay, 201 created. Then I should see two groups now. Group 1, I made group 1, and the comment again is created by Rommel via Postman. Now, if you go to policies, there's only one policy, which is the default policy. Okay, let's go back to Postman again to run a script. Where's my create policy? Create policy. If we go to the body, I only specify the name, policy 1, and the comment created by Rommel via Postman. Okay, send again. 201 created. Now I should see two policies here. Policy 1 created by Rommel via Postman. The next thing that I'll do is to create a workflow together with an action. If you see here, this policy has a workflow and this workflow has two actions. Okay, I'll create the same. As this script, let's go to the script. So I'll create both the workflow and the backup action all at the same script. As this script would create both workflow and action, the script is a little bit longer. I've specified all the attributes that I can, like schedule, backup type, and all the things that you see here. Like for example, the schedule of activities, full, incremental, every single day. I've also associated it to group one. Let me just look for it. This one. So if I go back here, if you see here, there's still no workflow policy assigned to it, but you see there's already a client. This is what we created. Press OK. Okay. And if you go back to Postman, so these are the attributes that I've specified. I'll press send again and check the status. 201 created. If we now go back to Networker and let's look at policies. Now we have our policy 1. Now we have workflow 1, and under workflow 1 we have one action, which is a backup action. Below is a visual representation of what I just did. I've assigned group 1 to backup to the default pool. And if I go back to group 1, if you see here, there's still the icon exclamation mark. But after doing the command, you can see that policy 1 and workflow 1 is already assigned to group 1. The next thing to do is to start a backup. We're all set. Now to start a backup, let's first go here and let's do to monitoring. So I've created policy 1. It hasn't started yet. Let's go to Postman, start a backup. This is the URL or the command to run a backup. So basically the policy, the workflow, which is workflow 1, op/backup. If I go to the body, there's nothing inside. Again, it's a post command. If I press send, 201 created. And if I go back to Networker console and refresh, now it's running. You'll see that Postman is now running. We've created a client, a group, a policy, and a workflow together with the backup action. We've also started a backup of what we've just created. All these configurations and running the backup done via REST API. That's how easy it is. Now you can integrate those scripts to your orchestration and automation layers. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like it.